and he's the messenger guy, okay, behind the throne. Remember what I've said in the past. And he revealed here in this article, it revealed in these Nixon tapes that Kissinger made a statement about, you know, the Edomites that were in Russia trying to vacate Russia back in the 70s. It didn't matter if they got out or not. Kissinger said, you know, they could be put in ovens. It didn't matter. They could be burned up, just like the Edomites back in the Nazi situation. Now, Kissinger's an Edomite himself. He's a Jew himself. Okay? Here's another article. December 18th, 2010. Nixon tapes show Kissinger's true evil. Okay? You understand? Check these articles out. Okay? Shows his true evil, where he, you know, these people, his own people, he said they can be put in ovens. It doesn't matter. Okay? Now that's what they think about their own. Just similar to the pogroms of 1880, when the Illuminati sent thugs in on these Edomites in Central Europe to run them up out of these towns so that they could bring them here to America and put them in the Democratic Party, you see, so that they would vote Democratic so they could get Woodrow Wilson in office, which they did. We talked about that in the past. That's how you got your garment district built up in New York, and the Edomites came here to America, in Cleveland, Chicago, you understand, Philadelphia, all through America back in the early part of the 20th century. Okay, here's you see, here's another article with Kissinger. He's with China's guy, Hu, you understand, that just came over here last week here in America, January 21st. This here is 2011 Chicago Tribune. Okay, so is this Hu? Is he Chinese, or is he a Edomite looking like a Chinese? Remember what we said that, you understand, in the last couple of shows, right? These Edomites is everywhere. They take on the looks of other people, you know. And like Yah says he would do, he's attacking now. He's raising jealousy like a man of war. That's why you're seeing all of these uprisings around the world, okay? But at the same time, he's also, you know, bringing devastation on the nations of the earth, okay? Because he's coming out like a wailing and travailing woman. Read 42nd chapter of Isaiah. He said he's going to dry up the herbs. He's going to dry up the pools. Okay, the fish are going to stink. Here in New York Times, January 3rd, 2011. That article here, right here, says, even as a labor shortage looms, Japan is curbing the hiring of foreigners. Okay, you can't go to Japan and get hired if you're not a Japanese, huh? Okay. Here's another article in the same paper. China quietly extends its footprints into Central Asia, and then the main one that I picked this up: floods in northeast Australia claim their first victim. Okay, many of you might have heard about the floods in Australia. Okay, displaced many people, destroyed a territory in Australia the size of France and Germany combined. Okay, this is Yah, and again, this is the whirlwinds. You know, we've talked about Jeremiah chapter 23, Jeremiah chapter 30. You know, these whirlwinds are not going to stop. Tornadoes, hurricanes, typhoons, floods, fires. You know, just like we showed you the fire with the Edomites burn up in the bus. You understand, dropping drama on them. They supposed to be the people of the Creator, though, right? But you seeing all of this, you know, they're not for peace. They, you know, all this devastation. You know what I'm saying? What else we got here? You know, his article, Who Are the Real Terrorists? Because, you understand, many of you have heard about this guy Logner. That who are the real terrorists? That was in Chicago Sun-Times, March 14, 2010. It's talking about how, you know, if you look like this guy Logner, okay, all of you probably heard about him, who shot the Congressman Giffords and many others. They only talk about her. They don't talk about the other ones. Basically, they got shot. But if you know, Tucson suspects slow spiral into madness. Okay, into madness. They make you know, this Lawton is a Edomite. If you didn't know that, okay. But anybody that basically looks like a Gentile, they make them, when they do these heinous acts, they make them mentally deranged. Okay, they're mental defective. You follow what I'm saying? They're mentally ill. But if somebody that does these crazy acts looks like me, then they're a terrorist. Okay, they're a thug. See, it's always unequal. Okay, discriminatory. All right. Here's Alabama professor gave no hint of shooting. She didn't. Here's a woman here, Amy Bishop. She didn't get tenure. This comes out of February 15, 2010, out of Chicago Sun-Times. She didn't get tenure, so she went to shoot. She picked up a gun and started shooting people. Violence. People resorting to violence because they, you know, they don't, and then she, you know, they don't see no other way. Okay? But violence is not going to save you out of this. Okay? Here's another one that many of you probably heard about. Joe Stack. Okay? You see the building, the IRS building here that he ran his plane into. Okay? This is in February 19, 2010, Chicago Sun-Times. And this Joe Stack, he owed the IRS money. He probably understood, without a doubt, that the IRS is, you know, illegal constitutionally here. And he fought with them for a few years, and they kept saying he was going to have to pay them this money. He finally came out. He said, "I have had all I can stand. I chose not to keep looking over my shoulder at Big Brother while he strips my carcass." And then he says, "I saw it written once that the definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over and expecting an outcome to suddenly be different. I am finally ready to stop this insanity." Okay? He ran his plane into the IRS building down there in Texas. So, again, you know, people are going, you know, losing their mind because they're falling into poverty, and there's nothing that they can do about it. But these people are what? They're in idolatry. Okay? They're not about Yah. So they have no salvation. Yah can't be their salvation. Okay? We talked about the bats. Article on the bats here. Mystery fungus is killing off bats. Chicago Tribune, June 5th, 2009. Disease threatens insect-eating machines that aid crops, forests. Okay? So now, these bats are dying off in droves. They call it the mystery fungus. Okay? And they call it the white nose syndrome. Has spread to 65 Ks in 9 states, killing these bats off in droves. And these bats eat insects that aid the growing of crops and forests. Okay? So what's killing off the bats? Could it be these GMO, genetically modified organisms, that Monsanto and Cargill, that same people, you know, Archer Midland Daniels raises these crops and sells them to people like Walmart? Okay? Is it these crops that are doing this to the bats and the bees, killing off, you know, these pollinators and the insect eaters that are necessary to the ecosystem? You know, we've talked about this. Here's another article, Chicago Sun-Times, August 10th, 2010. Death, we talked about this before, deaths double in Moscow amid smog. Okay? Smog in Moscow, killing off droves of people back last year. Okay? Here's China. This comes out of the Chicago Tribune, October 3rd, 2010. China digging in for thirsty Beijing. They're trying to create a whole water system in China. Divert water and bring it in where it's never been. Okay? Because they're having a problem with water. And Yah talks about this in the 42nd chapter of Isaiah. Okay? Where he said he's going to dry up. Okay? He's going to dry up the pools. He's going to dry up the lakes. As he said here, he says, Yah, this is verse 13, chapter 42 in the book of Isaiah. Yah shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yes, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies.